What's up, you guys? We're back with another episode of Therapeutic Talks, and today we're talking about avoiding negativity. So it's two of you guys. It's a new format today, so we're gonna go from Real to Najee. Start with Real. First question: I want to know, how do y'all deal with negative people in your life, and how have they affected you?
I think I want to hear Najee answer that first.
Najee,
Um, well, first off, I try not to deal with negative people.
of course.
For the most part, you don't really want negative people surrounding you.
Mhm.
But a lot of times negativity has its way of finding you, whether you go out your way to avoid it or not. Sometimes the people that you love the most can, be negative, even if they don't really notice it, they still can be negative and put negative energy on your life.
Yeah.
So as far as negative people affecting me, I feel like I try to not look at it in a negative way. Sometimes we can misinterpret the way people talk to us and the advice people give us as negativity, instead of internalizing it and kind of using it as a way to self-reflect on ourselves.
So
Constructive
critiquing,
criticism.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Okay.
instead of negativity, I personally like to try to look at it as constructive criticism.
Okay.
The only way I think you can tell the difference between just somebody just coming at you out of like pure hate and negativity, and somebody just telling you something that you don't want to hear necessarily.
Okay. Real.
That's interesting. I agree with everything you said for the most part.
Mhm.
I think the only difference is a lot of people don't, in my opinion, because of the people that I've been around, a lot of family members I have, bro. I don't think they look at it in a way where it's like, okay, yeah, we don't we take it as constructive criticism. I got a lot of people that'll sit up there and they'll know that you're just trying to critique them and put them in a better position, and they still take it as hate.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So a majority of people that I know is just like, if you tell them that they're doing something wrong, or you just like trying to look out for them or something like that, of that sort, bro, it's always like, no, you just hating on me. I don't like the way you talking to me, coming about me.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, bro. That's why I kind of try to remove myself from certain situations like that. That's what that is. I try to stay away from people that'll bring me any negative thoughts, any negative vibes.
Okay.
Especially next year. It's a personal goal of mine, bro. Especially you, bro. I got to get you up out of here, bro, if you being negative. You know what I'm saying, bro?
100% agree. Yeah.
You've been negative before this show started. I know that.
That's true, bro.
So Najee, you mentioned how, some people take it as like, they're being, like kind of like a hatred type of thing, just
Yes.
being full on negative and not critiquing. How do y'all know the difference between somebody actually having pure intentions behind the criticism and someone being more so hateful and having harm behind their words?
I think it's all relative to where you're currently at in your life and what those people mean to you.
Okay.
If it's a parent or it's a sibling, I think it's hard to assume automatically that they're trying to be negative towards you.
Okay.
A lot of people will, in my opinion, a lot of people will try to show you things that you might not notice about yourself as a way to like push you forward. Sometimes we personally don't like being pushed until we feel we are ready. So we avoid our own faults. You know what I'm saying?
I
That's
agree
a
with
problem
that.
with our culture, though.
Like we avoid our own faults. We avoid our own like we avoid our own things that like are negatives about us, because we don't want to confront those things. Sometimes when people try to point those things out about us, we look at it as you're being negative towards me or you're showing me hatred,
Okay.
as opposed to being receptive to hearing it. So we block it out.
How can we change that? That's a good point.
That's a great question.
How can we change that? Because I know a lot of people that are exactly how you just described. You don't want to change for the better. You just want to kind of have this mindset in your head where it's my way or the highway.
Staying
That's what that
stagnant.
is.
Staying where you at.
You sticking where you at, so you're not growing, you're not developing, you're not
Yeah.
moving up to the upper echelon of where you need to be.
Yeah.
So how can we change that?
I think it's about self-reflection, and it's an ego check.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
when we hear things about ourselves that we don't necessarily like, it hurts our ego. Our ego and our pride tries to protect us and push back to what we don't agree with. And so it's our ego and our pride is blinding us to these criticisms,
Yeah.
right? Or these things that we perceive as negative.
Okay.
So I personally think that it's an ego check. You have to legit check yourself, and that's something that we got to work on as people too. Is being able to check ourselves so we don't be blinded by our pride and our ourselves, so we don't block ourselves from reaching this pinnacle. Because we all have things that we can all be better at, you
Yeah.
know, and and we just have a thing of where when we hear it out loud, like if I come and I tell any of y'all suck at this, we don't like the way it sound, right? So to us that's negative. But really it could be somebody actually telling us something that we need to hear. We just don't like the way we hear it. A
Yeah.
lot we
Well,
can't.
should we change the wordplay in that case though?
You can, but after a while, I feel like you run out of what's the word I'm looking for.
Ways to say it.
Not words to
Sensitivity.
say. You run out, right? The sensitivity, like we are. I feel like that's the first step in once it starts approaching being negative, because first most of the time people, unless you're like a super blunt person, the first thing people gonna try to do is they're gonna try to tell you about yourself in a sugar coated way.
Mhm.
They're gonna try to dumb it down to make it sound nice, so that way maybe it'll get through to you. But that don't always like create the change in that person that you trying to provoke.
Mhm.
After a while of continuously trying to do that, you have to tell them in a real way. You have to tell them in a way that shakes them, that makes them feel it. Now they might feel as negativity, but it's also probably something that they need
Okay.
to progress,
So
I would say.
Respect.
you're mentioning egos and pride and everything like that.
Mm.
Do you think that's more so a problem for the man?
No. No.
Having the pride, like, and
No.
let me hear about that. Then, like, do y'all
Nah.
feel like it's more so a problem, or you feel like
Ego.
it's equal parts all around?
Ego is
all
driven by
around.
social media now, and that's the harsh
Explain
reality
that,
of
bro.
it. Everybody is social media driven now today.
Mhm.
That's why a lot of people are mad that they're not where they want to be in life, because they're not following where their so-called biggest celebrity crush or their
Yeah.
biggest celebrity fan is.
Mhm.
Hey, yeah, I see this person is here. I'm the same age. Why can't I be in that same position? So now
Yeah.
you mad at the world. You mad at this person for not helping you. You mad at that person for not helping you. And they got their own lives.
Yeah.
You shouldn't sit up there and project your life on somebody else and
Yeah,
say, oh, well, I
100%.
should have exactly what this person had. You never know what steps this person had to go through to get to
You
this
just seeing
fucking
the
goal.
highlights on social media. That's all that
Exactly my
is.
point.
Yeah.
So just because Jay-Z's a billionaire don't mean he's not going through a whole bunch of shit behind closed doors.
Yeah, they're not posting their failures. They're posting,
I don't know
all the
that. You
successes
don't
and
know that. So
everything.
I can't sit up here and just say, oh, he's a billionaire. He's all right. Everything, his money will take care of everything
Yeah.
he's going through. I don't
For
know
sure.
that. See what I'm
Okay.
saying? Everybody's so driven by social media that it's just like, okay, you got this ego of, okay, if they can do it, hey, I know I can do it, and I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to do it. And that's good until you stop and you sit up there and you say, okay, yeah, I'm better than everybody else
Mhm.
in that aspect. I'm not better than Najee. I'm not better than you. I'm not better than Brian over there. You know what that is? That's me checking my ego at the fucking door. I'm not better
Okay.
than any one of y'all.
I'm glad you just said that. So, and this for both of y'all. Do y'all think just because you checking your ego at the door, you feel like me saying I'm not better than this person, I'm not better than that person? Do y'all feel like that's the wrong mindset to have in a competitive field? Whether it's any type of industry, it could be sports, it could
think
be
that's-
just being in the business, being in the office, trying to get a promotion. Do y'all feel like that's the wrong mindset to have, or do y'all feel like it's a certain balance you can have to it?
It's a balance you can have.
It's a balance.
Okay.
It's
It's
a
a
balance.
balance. Every basketball player, football players, they want to be the best.
Yeah,
You're
of
gonna
course.
say you want to be the best.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them probably don't necessarily believe that, but it's just something you tell yourself so you can continue striving to be better each
Yeah.
and every day.
Like your mental drive doesn't have to change how you outwardly treat people.
Mhm.
So even though I could be the most mentally driven and mentally competitive person, that I want to be. It doesn't have to outwardly affect my the way I treat people.
Yeah.
Right? Like I
course.
could still walk into any room and say, I'm gonna be the best at this, I'm gonna be the best at that, and still treat people with respect. So I think it's a balance. I think
People separate that too much though.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
when you want to, like to your point, when people want to be the best, they think they have to shit on the next person to be the best.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Which you don't have to downplay
Nah.
anybody.
But that's the
That's
ego.
you
That's
being
the
negative
ego.
yourself.
That's
you
the
know?
ego part of it though. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
sometimes people pivot negativity from their
So
own self onto someone else.
so are we looking at ego as a negative thing? Do we feel like it has more negatives to it than does positive?
No. You have to ego and pride are not negative things
Is
at
it an edge
all.
to you? Did it bring an edge to you? Is
It
that how you
it
feel?
brings an edge to you,
Okay.
but you have to, along with the ego and the pride, you also have to keep the humbleness.
For
You know what
sure.
I'm saying? To
So all three
balance
have to be
yourself
balanced
out.
out and equal.
Yeah.
To balance yourself out. You don't ever. I don't ever want it to sound like you can't have ego, you can't have pride. We
Of
all
course,
have it. We all have it. It's just some of us lack the humbleness to balance it out,
Mhm.
and that's what can create like the negativity and
Okay.
the negative
Yeah.
environments, is when everybody is so like obsessed with themselves or so into themselves that they feel the need to have to be above other people. You know,
Yeah.
if we all in a race, yeah, I want to finish in first place,
Of course.
but you know what I'm saying. I also don't want to shit on y'all just because y'all came in second and third.
You still want to win, and
yeah,
you
but
happy for others as
I
well.
still want to win.
You're erasing the negativity in that
Right,
whole
but
situation.
you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying. I don't have to come at you about it
Mhm.
because you came in second place or third place.
Okay.
I don't know,
Like-
man. Mine take first place pretty serious.
But
No, I do like the win, but at the same time, I at least consciously, I'm not trying to put down anybody else's accomplishments due to in like in sports and stuff like that. Yeah, but like if we talking about just like in a real life situation, I'm not trying to ever put down somebody else's feelings just for the sake of me being in the
Absolutely.
first place because it's not necessary. I feel like that just creates unnecessary negativity amongst all parties involved. And I'm glad you mentioned a negative environment. So let me ask both of y'all, how do y'all feel how hard it is to get out of a negative environment and how does it affect you? Like, is it, you see how many times people like, oh, I was in a situation where it was nothing but negativity all around me and I made it out. And there's some people that don't make it out, unfortunately. It's people that stay there in that negative situation. How hard do y'all feel like it is to remove yourself from that environment?
I feel like it's extremely hard. I feel like it's extremely hard, but it's one of the most pivotal things that we have to learn,
Mhm.
especially in our culture.
Yeah.
As people, we have to learn how to overcome it. It's extremely hard. Like, I'll never downplay the struggle of coming from a negative environment because it teaches you, it limits you.
Yeah. For
Coming
sure.
from a negative environment, it limits you. It limits your progression. It limits your how you interact with the outside world. It limits what you think about yourself. But we have to overcome it. So I feel like, yes, it's extremely hard, but I wish we embraced the challenge more as people of trying to escape the negative environment. And also, I wish that just because we trying to escape the negative environment, I wish that we would stop viewing I wish we would stop viewing correction as negativity. I understand, like, if you come from a negative environment, you might shut things out that don't sound the best. But that goes back to my first point of people that usually come from an extremely negative environment are extremely sensitive to things that don't sound the best. So like I say, like, I wish we embraced that challenge of escaping the negative environment, but we also remember that just because somebody is correcting us does not mean that they're being negative towards us.
Yeah.
So,
Real?
I got to piggyback off what he said, bro. I mean, ain't no. To me, it's no other way. It's all about mentality, really. And he touched on that with that. So
Okay. You said it's all about mentality. So,
mentality of basically you coming from somewhere and you struggling, bro. You got to come up with the mentality for yourself and strive for yourself and say, hey, I got to do what I got to do to get up out of this situation.
yeah.
Nobody's gonna help you. Nobody's gonna spoon feed you. Nobody's gonna take you out of that environment on your own. It's just the harsh reality of it.
Yeah.
You have to do what you have to do for yourself, for your family, for everybody around you to continue to mold yourself and be better and motivate everybody else to want to get up out of there too. Plain and simple.
Okay. So this has been a real informative episode, bro. I really like how y'all dove deep into being negative and how we can escape it and the environments that we can replace ourselves from and how hard it really is because people try to make it seem like it's easy once they get to where they need to go. Is there anything else that y'all want to leave the viewing audience with as we leave about how to escape negativity and how to just surround yourself around positivity?
I would say if you have a positive mindset about if you already have a positive mindset, don't look at negativity as something meant to destroy you. Use it as a way to try to build you up, make you stronger. You know, a lot of times, if somebody's been negative towards us about like a fault that we have,
Yeah.
instead of embracing it as negativity, instead of taking it in as negativity, take it in as some building blocks to make yourself stronger as a person. You know, that would be my final remarks to people. Like use it to your advantage.
Find what makes you happy. Listening to music, hanging out with people, being with family. Do whatever will put you in a positive mood, mindset.
Okay.
Listen to music. I love music, bro. Music
Yeah.
changes everything for
It's
me.
an escape for sure.
It's an escape. It's like a go work out. Everything is an escape from reality.
Different forms of
You know
therapy.
what I'm saying? It's not going to permanently erase everything that you're going through, but hey, put you in a better mood so you can figure out what steps are next.
Yeah, have a clear head. So we appreciate y'all for coming to sit down with us this episode. We're going to see y'all next week on Therapeutic Talks.
Yeet.
Yeet. Or no yeet, whichever one. Close up, bro. Yeah, there go. Fade out. Yeah, I like
After that, we that last.
I can't